Hey fight fans, welcome back again to another episode with the African Fighters, and on today's episode we'll be giving you a roundup of everything happening in the world of combat sports. Stay with us. Alright, EFC 104 went down. Featherweight champion Igeu Kabesa kept his belt in yet another dominant display for the 16th victory of his peerless career. After a brief exchange on the feet, Smiley hit the takedown and displayed a flawless submission offense with multiple transitions, forcing constant defense from the challenger Vincent Bembe, who failed to escape the champion's grasp and ultimately ended up tapping to a rear naked choke in the very first round. Cole the Hitman Enin re-entered the winning column in an incredible back and forth war with Durban's Tapiwe Katikati, which remained on the knife edge, with both athletes having moments of prominence when the end seemed nigh. But it was in the third round that Enin dug deep to put his opponent in a guillotine choke, from which Katikati refused to tap, subsequently sending him to sleep, and the match ended in the favor of Cole the Hitman Enin. A lot of other results went down at EFC 104. Israel Adesanya has revealed that he was informed of a conspiracy involving the UFC to gift Islam Makhachev a decision win over Alexander Volkanovski. Adesanya felt like Volkanovski had done enough to win a decision over Makhachev after their fight ended. The last stylebender wouldn't go as far as to say he was fully convinced there had been any foul play involved with the decision at UFC 284. But during an appearance on Andrew Schultz's show Flagrant, he detailed a conspiracy that one of his friends had suggested to him. In his words, he said, "Look at the movement right now with Fight Island, Abu Dhabi, the stake that they have in the UFC. It pays them to have a champ that's from that part of the world." Volkanovski has repeatedly indicated he would like to rematch Makhachev at some point, but for now, the Australian is preparing to defend his featherweight title against Yair Rodriguez at UFC 290. 2022 PFL heavyweight champion Ante Delija wants to cement himself as arguably the top heavyweight in the world by upending Francis Ngannou. Delija will face Maurice Green in PFL 5 main event this Friday in Atlanta. He returns after withdrawing from his 2023 debut earlier this year due to an injury and desperately needs a quick finish to keep his hopes of a championship repeat alive. The Delija 2023 debut comes just weeks after Ngannou announced he was signing with the PFL. He parted ways with the UFC earlier this year after a lengthy contract dispute with the promotion. During PFL 5 Media Day, Delija weighed in on Ngannou's addition to the PFL and chances of being Ngannou's first opponent.
Motivacija da osvojim ove godine turnir I da se borim protiv najboljega na svijetu, a to je Francis sigurno.
He said that he's very motivated to conquer again this belt and then to fight Francis Ngannou, because Ngannou is one of the ranked as number one in the world as heavyweight, and he also thinks that he is number one ranked in the world, so of course he's gonna go for his head.
Alright, boxer John Gotti III has been suspended for 6 months by the Florida State Athletic Commission for his role in the recent post-fight brawl with Floyd Mayweather. Gotti started a post-fight melee with Mayweather after being disqualified in the exhibition boxing match. After throwing a few punches at Mayweather following the disqualification, Gotti and Mayweather's teams entered the ring and hell broke loose. A potential rematch between Mayweather and Gotti won't happen in Florida, but could potentially be booked for another location. It's uncertain if both sides intend to rebook the fight after the abrupt end to the action. The State Commission also announced that Mayweather won't face any penalty for his role in the brawl. According to TMZ, Gotti and Mayweather eased tension shortly after the incident. Gotti has a 2-0 professional record in boxing, with his last victory coming against Alex in January. He's also fought in MMA for 6 fights in the CES, one of the top regional promotions in the United States. It appears that the window for Conor McGregor to make his return to the UFC's octagon this year will be closed in just a couple of days. The Notorious now has 48 hours left to re-enter the USADA testing pool and be eligible to compete at UFC 296, which will be the UFC's final pay-per-view event of the year. USADA requires all athletes to be in the testing pool for at least 6 months prior to competing, but McGregor has seemingly remained resistant to the idea of those rules being an obstacle to his return. The Notorious and former lightweight title challenger Michael Chandler serve as opposing coaches on the current season of The Ultimate Fighter. The working assumption has been that the two men will meet in the cage at some point after the show finishes airing. Jared Cannonier has shared the cage with both Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker, and that experience has given him some insight into what traits he would love to take from each fighter. When asked the question, he proceeded to say, "If I had Israel's height and length, that would be really good for me. That would be really good, and I think Robert is a really good tactician. He's really good at intercepting opponents as they come in. Those two things, catching guys when they step in right across the threshold and being able to snipe from afar, will be things I would love to have. You're also waiting on Dricus du Plessis' matchup with Robert Whittaker in the nearest future.
Dricus has been much kind of a buzzsaw in his last couple of fights. Rob is a very good tactician, though. You know what I mean? So I think that's why people would write him off. But who knows how that fight's going to go? Maybe he can take a shot and get a hold of Robert, and then tire Robert out. When Robert slows down, Dricus doesn't slow down, as we see. You know, so who knows how that fight's going to go? It's going to be a fun one to watch, that's for damn sure.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section. We'll see you in the next episode.